Yo, you don't know. We going global with this thing. Boom! Top class, university. What a global opportunity. Aruba University. Take part, come join me. Together for the local experience. Spread the culture over the nation. Let's build up the community. Learning and teaching in diversities.
Hello, and good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Cherise. Good afternoon to our listeners. Good afternoon to you looking at us now live on Facebook. Cherise and I are just having so much more fun because sometimes wanting to take risks, learning, being lifelong learners that we are, lead to very interesting moments. But it's always an interesting moment when we sit together and have these straight-up conversation about education, which is what this program is about.
Yes.
A program sponsored by the University of Aruba. You can see all behind us our logos. Here on Massive 103.5 FM. Cherise, how are you?
I'm doing very well. And as I said, I had a very interesting week. So we were having like a pre-conversation before the recording. And I had the opportunity to facilitate the courses with students from the Faculty of Finance and Accounting and Marketing. And I must say, I'm so in awe with the different things that they are doing. They are young professionals, not waiting until they complete their bachelor's degree, but they're already starting out their business. So we hope that you at home, we're bringing education close to home, and we hope that you will take this opportunity and make it a wonderful journey. So, Deborah, what are we going to talk about today?
We are going to talk about something that is very close to my heart, which is service clubs or, any organization where you are giving back, but also getting back something in return. And as you said, it's service club. Is it an optimistic future? I think it definitely is, but it's also a way of becoming a humble person and a better human being for the future as well.
Well, Deborah, having said that, I'm going to call up our president of the Circle K, which is a Kiwani Service Club at our university, to explain to us a bit who she is, what she did, and what her thoughts are about the service clubs now. So, good afternoon, Elisabeth. How are you today?
Bye, buon tardi, Cherise, Deborah. Mi name Elisabeth Alege. Mita un estudiante awona mi 2 años na Universidad de Aruba, y mita estudiante Accounting and Finance. Mita un estudiante na Colegio API y nanta una ma começar com o trabalho voluntário. Desde o bisa, mi tem 4 ou 5 anos acaba fazendo trabalho voluntário para nossa comunidade.
Wow. I really shout out. Deborah, I met her when I was giving information. I was sharing information about a university. And she come up, Frau, Universidad. Look at her here now. And she's already starting out a path in serving her community. So hats off to you, Elisabeth. And as we start every week, we would like to know, let us tell students about what will your friends say about you? Who is Elisabeth? Quem é Elisabeth?
Sí, hobby persona ta conocemi tami pa mi fam alegre. Nantami ta bisami kunanta wak I valora mi trabaho ng kumitahasi of esfuerzo tami kumitahasi saya na school of pa for the school paso hobby biyaha hobby heneno ta sakat un tiki tempo pa por ayuda nos comunidades. Esa ita algo ku eta bom pa conscientizar estudiante nan ku eta algo ku po ayuda nan tami profesionalmente y personalmente.
Well, pero Kiko mo to gustahasi? Kiko mo tasi de mo tempo liber? Kiko mo tasi bandi serve community ta hobby active?
Sí.
Minha dari para como tasi hobby outro coisa também.
Sí. Actualmente me está haciendo gym, turma inta de 6 pa 7. Desde algo que está ayudando también mentalmente y ayudando schedule mi día también. Desde está ayudando está más responsable como persona. También me está un estudiante, desde me está toma tiempo de mi día y también me está gusta música, diferentes sports y trabajo voluntario que está más santo de weekend.
Oh, look, so cool. Sorry, Elizabeth. Would you say then that you kind of said it, but do you really see that being part of a social club creates some type of structure in your life?
Sí.
Can you translate it a bit like that?
Sí, mi tahayan ta hopi importante despa hasi trabaho ng voluntaryo na diferente organisasyon pa sobra timbihan nos nota sali fe nos comfort zone. E em momento e tame bopo waki ko tame ting afo. Por ejemplo, nos ta focus o piriba no school after trabaho, pero tame te importante que nos ta dona un mang na un otra persona. E te ayuda bo hopi manage mi hobo tempo, bota conoce otra persona ko tame ting emeso meta e ko aboting pa ayuda otro.
Wow, before we go into what the service club, why you chose to join the service club, just a little bit, why University of Aruba? And then she's also here with a friend, and we'll call her friend up. And then, Deborah, we can indulge in a conversation service club. Is that okay with you?
Totally.
Okay. Kiko Universidad, why did you choose the University of Aruba for further studies?
Mi dato sigando kaba accounting na colegio APE. Y desde tata algo que siempre me gusta. Y ahora mi tamani mi prome mi choice ato bay Holanda pero mi tamani no sin universidad kaba kinang na Aruba di ko no hase kinang ibota ko po familia tambe eta leg destinbia no ta valora ki ko nos ting mane na nos mesong país. Des eta hopi great pa hase ki nos ting estudiando y boting pida edi nos baranga kinang.
Wow, thank you very much. And for those listening in, remember May 15th, our registration started, and it's going to go through all through July 15. And guess what? It's an online registration. So no matter where you are in the globe, there is no excuse not to register. But
If you have any questions, Charisse, where do they need to go?
They can send all information to OSA. Let me put up some information. Follow us on Instagram, on our Facebook page, on our YouTube. And also, if they have any questions, send us an email to osa@ua.aw. Thank you so much, Deborah. And Elisabeth, you have a friend with you, but also someone who is your treasurer.
Sí.
Who did you bring with you today?
Hoy magkresa mi tesorera Aisha Romero para me conta su experiencia.
Buon
tardi.
How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
Well, to Straight Up Conversation is my colleague, Deborah.
And I always say Charisse knows most of the students and I don't, because lifelong learning is more focused on a bit of an older age. Does not mean we don't focus on you guys students, but you guys are in a different mind frame at the moment that, you want your degree, that's what you're focusing on, and we understand, but we do have things for you guys, so don't forget that. And for all of you looking in as well, remember, send an email at cll@ua.away. I'm saying it now, Charisse, because they always message me after. I need to know, where do I need to go and look? They forget, so put it up on the screen. But Aisha, I am curious, as I don't know anything about you except that you're into service clubs, and we know which service club already. Just tell our audience a bit about yourself. What would your friends, as Charisse said, we asked, what would they say about you that is important that others know?
Okay. Bueno, buon tardi, mucho gusto. Mi nombre es Aisha Romero. Mi tengo 20 años de edad. Mi un second year FEF student studying accounting and finance. I'm a Colegio Arubano graduate. I did FEWIO, and now I'm here at the FEF. And Kiko Hende la por bisadimi, Kiko Mimiga la por bisadimi, I'm usually the laid back, quiet one, doesn't say much. She's sometimes very serious. I'm very observant of the environment around me. What do people say? What do people do? And I think sometimes people appreciate that because, out of nowhere, I can come up and give them maybe a word of encouragement or tell them, hey, just give them advice just out of the nothing. And people could say I'm also a very, very hard worker. I'm a very disciplined person, and I like to, be the best version of myself in whatever I'm doing.
Wow. This is just a perfect candidate for service club, wouldn't you say, Deborah? I mean, she's well-spoken. She has a vision of what she wants to achieve in life, and she's just a first-year student. So why did you choose for the university? You could have gone all over the globe.
Yeah.
Yes. You would say, most people would say, coming from VWO, how come I didn't go to the Netherlands as most of my friends did? Well, my main reason is I didn't want to end up in debt or with a big student loan. So when I saw that the university offers a FEF program where I can study finance, and it's a more practical approach to finances, and I know that I can leverage through networking, through stages. I can get in touch with the local companies here. So it was mostly that, for no debt or smaller student loans, and the fact that I get to network with the local businesses here on the island.
And
Awesome.
I know. I was just thinking, networking forms a very important part in a positive way for for service clubs, because tapping into your network, you're able to do much more for the community. That's what it's all about. And you need to tap into your network. And your network is, friends and family. And sometimes the network is someone working somewhere that maybe can help you to get just what is needed to get something done. So I am underestimate. Let me just put it like this. I know here in Aruba we say "takengbo konose," and that's that's a network. That's a network. But I think it's a beauty when you use your network for positive and good things, and not only for yourself, but to give back to others.
Having said that, Deborah, I think we're going to call Elisabeth back. And for those of you, hi there, Elisabeth. For those of you who just tuned in, this is Straight Up Conversation about Education, a program sponsored by the University of Aruba. And you can also listen to us on massive 103.5 FM listeners. And we are talking about service clubs. And we have today with us Elisabeth and Aisha, who are both from our service club at the University of Aruba. And if you go to their Facebook page, what I'm going to encourage you to do, they said, we are students from the University of Aruba with a passion to serve the Aruba community. And now both of you, why Circle K? Why are you so passionate about serving the Aruban community?
Para mí, na primeiro lugar, sobre hopi viaja como gente young, nosotros vai e ajuda dona outra gente man. Anto, paki como join CKI, tapa sobre hopi viaja, bueno que vai mane persona, boso, bueno, nota hopi fácil para acercar uma organização para ajuda. Después aquí nos hace de un grupo de friends, que también tiene mesmo meta y también, mes que yo propio, nos conoce más gente también y esta ayuda nos también de nuestro futuro.
Thank you. And Aisha, what are your thoughts? Why?
Yes, why CKI? Well, I've always heard about CKI and that the UA had a service club, but if Elisabeth can recall, a few months ago we did a project called Proyecto Social, where us FEF students, we had to do a project where we would help out a nonprofit organization do volunteer work, and that was the point that I saw that, like, hey, I actually like doing this. And I think most students would say that, like, hey, I don't have time, like community service, it takes a lot of work. I'm too busy right now with my studies. But I think Elisabeth and I can both attest that we've learned how to balance our studies with social work. It fits perfectly, and I think it's more fun when you say, hey, I didn't just spend 4 years of my life studying, but I got to interact with other people, help people out, all in a fun ambiente.
Environment, yes. Now I know you're part of a service club as well, so let's indulge a bit more into mottos and get a little more insight on what happens in there. Deborah?
Yeah, so, just as with you guys, I am also a fellow Kiwanian, Kiwanis Club of St. Nicholas. So, but that's what I do on the side. But now I'm Deborah from the university. But I have also volunteered in many other things. And as we all know, CKI, you have K-Kids, you have Builders. And so every other service club, you have the Rotarians, you have the Lions Club, you have so many different social service clubs here on the island. They all have a motto. I would like for you guys to share with our audience and listeners, what is the motto of CKI? So Kiwani?
Yes. Nos motto is live to serve, love to serve.
Live to serve,
love to serve.
And
So, explícanos un tiki. What is your interpretation? Because you both have a different interpretation. What is your interpretation of live to serve and love to serve? And let's start with Elisabeth, and then we go to Aisha.
Yes. Inota algo kuta un rato so, pero que nos está viva, anto nos está así de corazón. Y también algo que nos está gusta, algo que nos está viva, pe. Inota un ya sabra so, aquí un pari luna, pero es algo que nos vida a diario.
Nice.
And Aisha, before we indulge again, Aisha, what is your interpretation or your driving force on this motto?
Okay, well, I'm a firm believer that we as people, we were born to like be in community, just be around people, and that we have a main purpose in life, that is to serve people. But I believe that like you don't just get to serve, or you can't just serve, but you have to actually enjoy it, so that you can pass that on to like maybe your friends and family, or maybe even your kids in the future. So we get the opportunity to serve, but I think just doing it with the passion, I think people receive that much better than like just say, hey, I serve, but you come with a Debbie Downer face or something like that. So live to serve, do it, but also love what you do.
And the thing I have learned from being in service of others, I always say within this is my second year since we were established, is that you learn so much about yourself in what you can, your leadership skills are, either strengthened. But I think what makes it is the teamwork, it's love, because there's no I in team. And many times when we go into the workforce, we go into with people we don't know, but we learn so much from them. So for me, I've always said that, and maybe you guys want to share your experience of how you've learned from someone else, but I always have fellow Ks who are very good in management. Some would say, I'm doing micromanagement. No, I think, that's their way of management. I have some who are organizational. They're very strong. I have my strength, but to not be intimidated when you're in a group, not to be intimidated by the other person, but to seek to learn from the strength. What have you learned from your all of other fellow Ks or fellow CKIs during the year, the time that you are, part of the service club? How have you developed?
Let's start with Elisabeth.
Bueno, Deborah avisa, esta algo que turgente te pone un parte, desde nota mane un persona so, y nan bota sinha y bota sinha develop e diferente habilidad na ecoquiat. Personalmente me lo visa time management. So, a mí data una persona que opi viaja, te gusta sport, pero nunca me lo data hacer para motivo de tiempo. Pero para visa a woku service club, mita mani, okay, et horario aquí te permite, horario kita pa by sirve, el momento kita, okay, mi personal moment, y también, ku bota saca tempo para a família também, você sei também tá hopi importante. E outra coisa que tá ku hopi viaja nos ayuda, pero nos ayuda ne mucho na offer personas de necesidad, pero también nos está realizar que el momento que nos ayudan nos está develop nos mes como persona también, y te crea algo hopi diferente de nos. Y te ayudaba per hopi más hopi personalmente.
Oh, wow.
Wow, and the second and the FEF students, you would say they're not social work students, they're not as big students from finance and accounting. Aisha, what are your thoughts?
Yes, I would say that the CKI has taught me, first of all, time management too, as Elisabeth said, and just you have something to look forward to. Like most students, we will have class till 12 or 1 o'clock, and then you have the rest of the day. You don't have much to do, but now at CKI, it's like we have to plan projects, communicate with organizations. So you get excited. You have something to look forward to, and also I would say I've learned to appreciate the people around me, because doing community work, you're not forced to. It's something voluntary. So I've learned to appreciate everyone's time. All of our members here. You learn it's a very humbling experience, and I'm grateful for the people that even say, hey, I want to dispose of my Saturday to just come and help out, and it just leaves you with a more thankful heart. So that's definitely something that I've learned in the last few weeks of just being with new people around me.
And I totally agree with that, and I think that those listening in as well who has youngsters, I mean, every social club has but the pago membership fee, you participate, but sometimes they're always friends of. And I have, for many activities, I've brought my 2 nieces and sometimes friends of theirs. And I know I was so proud when the other day, I was like, okay, girls, are you guys going to look for a vacation job? They're like, well, not sure. But if we could do something like what we're doing with you for a job, then that would be rewarding. And I thought for 14 and 15-year-olds to say that, then I think that already is the beginning, because that's where you start. You start by just wanting to give back to others and not looking at and I think one of the things also is for both of you who are actually in an area of education where hard skills, accounting, finance, where numbers matter, the human aspect of finance is also very important. I always said, if you have someone who are good in hard skills but lack soft skills, you lack human interaction and understanding, and you will never be able to connect with those who are in your environment or who you will be serving at a professional level one day. So let us
So Deborah, thank you for pointing that out. And having said that, ladies, the topic today was service clubs, an optimistic future, because we're online, all meetings, we're not really having that social contact and, that we would love to have. It's just done differently. So if there is a future in service clubs, let me hear your opinion, and also where can they reach you, and what are the plans from the CKI of the University of Aruba? Whoever would like to go first.
Sí, mi lo bisa ku eta hopi importante y eta ayudarnos hopi nos futuro. Sobra, botasinya conoce hopi gente. Nosotros haku diferente club, diferente organización. Bo nunca sasi bo mester di organización pa proyecto mescos a nossa também ser pa school. Of si boting ko busca trabajo, si bota ting social worker, ante bota trabaja com outro club, bosa eta bota bohasi bostage inantame. Entonces, esta es algo que me lo pisa, bota conoce hopi general, que lo puedo ayudar también en el futuro.
Thanks. Ato una na po ang information di CKI.
Nampo follow nos riba Facebook, de cerca que of the University of Aruba, of también toma contacto con nos via nos Instagram, kuta cki.ua, y también vos podés private message nos, of también nos acaba de poner un post, con un link, una vos puede inscribir para virar un prospect member también.
Okay, and I'm going to put the link up now. Alicia, it's going to be challenging for you because now you have to say something else, but I know you can. So what would you say?
Okay, I would say because of the pandemic the past year, I think a lot of people, because of being locked inside of their house, perhaps they feel very lonely, or like there's not much to do right now, not much we can do. And I think some people can find their escape, who knows, maybe in doing volunteer work, socializing, just meeting new people. And our invitation to students is just come try it out, see what you think. It's no commitment yet, just come help us out. There's a lot of work that needs to be done on the island of Aruba. We have tons of fun and exciting projects coming out, and our invitation is just to any student who wants to come and volunteer, try it out, see for yourself, see what you think. Just contact us and we'll be glad to help you out.
Yeah.
Awesome. Deborah, before you go into your last questions, because we do have another service club, and believe it or not, this other service club that we're going to talk about is actually from the Rotarians. That was very interesting. But students, those of you who just tuned in, this is Straight Up Conversation about Education, a program sponsored by the University of Aruba. And today we're speaking with the president and the treasurer of our service club, CKI of the University of Aruba, the Circle K of the University of Aruba. And we're also here on Massive 103.5 FM. And because of new technology, when there are any difficulties, Deborah, what do?
We innovate, Cherise, we innovate, and we become lifelong learners and learn something new and apply it immediately, because that's what it is actually. Yeah? We talk about learning, but it's also applying what you learn. And these youngsters, Aisha and Elisabeth, are very good examples. They are learning and applying at the same time. So ladies, now we have CKI. You guys are Your new chronistic year will start later in the year. What's up for you guys in the future? Where do you guys see yourself going?
Let's start with Elisabeth.
Yeah, Elisabeth.
Sí, desde 5 de maio, nós temos projeto, manet hopihin sa ta Cancer Funds, é luna que nós está aware tocante câncer e também por dor de projeto aqui nós ajuda pessoas com treatments, com transporte. E agora o projeto aqui está onde nós para em diferentes rotondas de Aruba e nós recolectar placa para essa aqui. Desde agora se você jovem que está interessado para ajuda, contactar-nos e nós por cabo de lista em diferentes horários. Fecha nanta dia de 5 de maio, 22 de maio e 29 de maio.
Pero você é estudante de Universidade de Aruba?
Eigenlijk door que nós está cerco que de Universidade de Aruba, sim. Pero se botar pessoa a fo e botar willing de ajuda, queremos botar welcome. Pero agora nós está puntra outro requisito também. E dia 29 de maio também nós tem Aruba Dut e se comenta por me viaja que tem Aruba Dut na Universidade de Aruba, minha tá seguro. Pero nos planta para fazer vida de escola, assim, garden onde nós tem fruits, vegetables, que é para estudantes de necessidade, pero também para outra organização, por exemplo, Imelda Hof, Casa Cuna. Então, é projeto que está para nós mesmos estudantes, e me espero que estudantes mês de universidade para ver vídeo aqui, para assim, por animar também para dar step dilante de maneira Aisha bisa, e não tá commitment, se bem dia, 2 dias, para just try it out, that hope nice.
Awesome. I'm seeing that so well the CKI and our students from the system are joining forces and we're going to have a vegetable garden. So we are going to be for and door student project. That's the first one that we have. We have the other organization, my Jack, that is really working on the greener environment. So I'm so happy to see this collaboration. But Aisha, just before we go to our other guests, I also saw that you also have different projects with API and, also other students. Are you going to be moving forward and building a CKI or, service clubs, Kiwanian service clubs, or how do you work together?
Yes, so basically our goal as CKI UA is to try to network with the fellow CKIs all around Aruba, starting from our father club, which is Kiwanis Palm Beach, to CKI APE, and even to the key clubs in Colegio Urbano, Mont Plaisir. So we try to make it more fun, and I think a lot of people appreciate that because a bigger group, so more work can be done at the same time. And it's been very fun, and we've done projects so far with Fundación Por las Comunidad. I think it was 2 weeks ago where the CKI APE helped us out, and also beach cleanup. So it's been great so far.
Oh, wonderful!
Awesome.
Yeah, wala sa mga contacto ko yung fra Deborah y ako sa ko etam de Kiwanis is San Nicolas.
Yes.
Yes, that
is a social club willing to join us all, of course, to do, get for a better community, Aruban community. Gusto lang nos van hacer. So, Charisse?
Nós sorting imenso metas. Agora é mais fun hacer com diferente club.
Claro. Now, ladies, we have our other guests coming up, but I am so happy that we had this opportunity to talk to you guys. And I am so, happy to see that the university has, these beauties of youngsters, but also intelligent, big hearts. They're living to serve and they're loving the process. So thank you. And we will definitely see each other in a different setting.
Yes,
ladies. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. For those of you who just tuned in or, you missed a bit or you remember, you can find all these interviews on our YouTube channel. It's live on our Facebook channel. So you can tap into and share and join these youngsters. Regardless of the pandemic, these 3 young ladies have shown us. Today, we're talking with Aisha and Elisabeth, but there is also the vice president, and they have shown us resilience and not giving up because of the pandemic, but trying to look at other ways to serve our community. So hats off to you ladies, and as you live to serve, we really see you love to serve. So we would like to thank you for being part of this straight up conversation about education right here on Massive 103.5 and live on our Facebook page. This program is sponsored by the University of Aruba, and we do really appreciate you as students serving our community. Thank you and stay tuned. Bye-bye. Oh, Deborah, that was very exciting conversation with those students, wasn't it?
Yes, it was a totally and inspiring, I have to say, again, because as I mentioned, I believe in service myself. And for those of you looking in on Facebook, you might have noticed that thanks to technology, we look totally different and totally fabulous, even though it was not about fashion, Cherise, but we're becoming
You
a
know,
better.
but fashion is a way that you can identify yourself. Our next speakers, although they're into fashion, they're here for a complete different reason. Deborah, would you like to introduce our new speakers?
Yeah,
Our
we
new
have
guests?
our new guest on the program today for our listeners. It's going to be two University Toastmaster participants, actually. For those of you that don't know, the university has a lot going on. CKI is just one of them, but Toastmasters of the University of Aruba is another one. And we have the president and the vice president of public relations. Both of them actually, not unknown to our community. We have
Hi.
Gladiola Servinus, if I say it properly, and Miss Betty Heyliger in the house. Welcome, ladies. Welcome.
Well,
Thank you.
so much for having us.
Now we're
Thank
happy
you
to
for
have
having us.
you. And we want to pick up where we left with service clubs, because Toastmasters at the University of Aruba, University Toastmasters Club, is also a different form of it's a bit of
Service.
service. It's also a different form of service. And I think many people have this whole idea about Toastmasters that it might be boring or it's too complicated. Not for me. We hope to take that out, take that out of the air in the next few minutes. But let's start with a question that we start with each and every week. And we have the honor of having both of you. So I'd like to start with Gladiola. Gladiola, tell us something about yourself briefly that, our audience, friends and family, what would they say about you? Who are you?
Okay, first of all, thank you again for having us on the show so we can introduce Toastmasters to the whole Aruba, let's say. And now with Zoom, it's all over the world. So Aruba and everybody. My name is Gladiola Servinus. I'm a single mom of two boys. Okay, they are already 26 and 23, so but they're always boys for me. I have been working at an insurance company for 33 years now, and I'm having always problem. I'm not English speaking, so I would like to speak my English much better. And that's why I have been introduced by a friend, a good friend, or Shamila Williams. Sorry if I put her name also, but she has introduced me to Toastmasters. And from that day when I went for the first time, I liked it. And I have started going up to today.
Gladiola, thank you for that wonderful introduction. But who is Gladiola? Deborah, are you curious to know what would her friends say? What would Betty say when you're not at work? What would they say? What do you like? Let us connect with you.
Okay, I'm not such a known person, I think. After work, I don't do a lot. I used to sell Avon. I used to be in network marketing. So that kind of thing, which I think are a little boring, but not that. Okay. I remember that I think 2 years ago, or I have participated in the Calypso contest, but in a choir. That was the most exposed I have been.
Now, you see, this is what we do. You see, we take up people to start digging deep as to who they truly are. And you think of choir and calypso, people be like, that is something.
Yeah.
About.
They still don't know me.
Saw her.
And now,
Thank you so much.
thank you.
Thank you
Shamila
so
is
much.
Yola is downplaying herself. She's so humble. Yola is the catalyst of Toastmasters. She's a president. She's a secretary. She does everything. And she always playing herself like, very shy, and a faithful person. If she promises you something, it's going to be done. You can expect you're gonna get it.
No, I'm happy.
Okay.
Betty,
Yes, thank you.
as a friend, yeah. So Betty, I mean, this is a unique show. So you guys are both. What would friends, what would Gladiola say about you, or maybe other fellow Toastmasters, or those that know you quite well, that we or I who don't know you, can be like, oh, okay.
Well, I'm a very energetic person. I have a lot of energy. I am very responsible. Sometimes I think I'm very strict, that people will think, oh my God, I can be very bubbly, but I'm very on point. So what you see on the outside is totally different from what I am really. I have a passion for life, and I love to inspire everyone around me, especially women who never had the opportunity to pursue an education. I'm always constantly educated, even if it's something small. If I learn something, I love to pass it over. I love to, make sure that everybody knows what is going on. So my passion is constantly educated, passing on news. That is my passion.
So sounds to me like she is a true lifelong learner, Charisse, isn't that?
Yes. And she's also been a little shy, because those of you who have learned, work with Betty, she's like, oh my God, what is Charisse going to say? She is an energetic and so caring person, just like her mom.
Yes.
Very caring, her mom, I think she has all the traits from her mom. She loves a good joke. She is very into fashion, but education. And we're going to be learning a bit more about her trajectories. But those of you who just tuned in, this is Straight Up Conversation about Education, a program sponsored by the University of Aruba. You can find all our videos on YouTube and on our Facebook Live. And of course, for our massive 103.5 listeners, our true followers. Thank you for being there every week. So Deborah, let's find out a bit more what sparked their interest about Toastmasters.
Yes, could you, because Gladiola, you're the president, so maybe let's start with, what is Toastmasters?
Okay, Toastmaster is a educational program. It's a club in Aruba. We have various Toastmaster clubs, and we are the University of Aruba Toastmaster club. And normally our station is there. We meet every first and third Thursday of the month at the University of Aruba. But now we because of this pandemic, we are meeting online. But very soon, I think we will be going again at live and also online. So I think we will keep on using the Zoom opportunity, because this is very, very, very useful, and with the chance of knowing more people from outside also. So this Toastmaster is it's a very extended, very open learning opportunity, which I say that anybody can do. It's something that for any age, and I especially suggest the young ones. Not that I'm so old, but the young ones will use this so much, because this has given me the confidence to speak more openly, to like Betty said, I'm shy, but to take my shyness a little off, and be able to speak with more confidence, and with that, it will help you in so many ways. And this is like a whole university where you can obtain all kind of the paths that we're having, anything that you're interested in which direction you want to go. you can learn, and the greatness of it is that you can do it on your own path and your own pace, and you don't have the pressure of learning. But as soon as you start, you will like it so much and you will get hooked on it.
You know, I just want to frame, because as you said, and we said it just now as well, it's Toastmaster of the University of Aruba. I want for those listening in to understand this is not something that's made for university members or faculty members solely. It's really anyone within the community can become a Toastmaster, join the Toastmasters at the University of Aruba. Maybe you'd like to just emphasize, because I could already hear people thinking, universidad, minota nang, tahin the kuting, mahabo, I don't know. I mean, so a whole range of, I don't have this. I could hear them saying that already. And I think it's very clear that we make to them that we take away that barrier immediately. Can you just highlight that?
Sí, si mi pubisa den papimento também?
Yes, please do.
De verdade, é algo que o orbo contra não para você botar invitar gente não para vir meeting não. Ai não, pero a mim não também papi de riba nenhum stage, a mim não também has public speaking. Não, é não tá nada de sei, anybody qualquer gente que tá de traha onda que tá, anybody can start with it, because it's something that it is bota by sim riba bo mesmo pace, é hope social. Bota by sim a coisa não puta basic maneira listening, dus escucha, bota sim escucha mais em vez de papia mais sim escucha. Bota by sim a tua coisa não de bom mês automaticamente não estava tá hasi, e agora bota by hasi não com mais conscious, bota mais aware que hey, me te escucha mais, me assim mais, me por hasi mais, me por papia mais sem medo, me por papia tique mais slow, para o papia mais ligeiro também, bota papia mais bruxa, bota bisa costa com bono mestre bisa, orbo rabia, por contener bo mes mais ligeiro, bota contener bo mes por bono explode, and to bisa costa com bono mestre papia, dus tem assim tanto costa por sim DJ, and anybody can do this, and me te aconsejar especialmente muito na. Ya, nós estamos começando de 18 anos para arriba, pero ora muito tempo vai fazer interview, bijvoorbeeld, na acaba a escola. Então, se você tem confidence assim great, você tem self-confidence assim great, imagine o impact que você faz, ora você vai buscar trabalho. Eta vai beneficiar de todo aspecto. Então, te sei, quando o Betty aqui não também, nós está enjoy, assim na hope e Betty, agora me não avisa de pero Betty está such a strong woman, então esta verdade, esta dedicated, então esta mulher que tá por confiar anytime, esta tem nos board, então nós trabalha echt mané team, então essa aí também botar assim, trabalha teamwork, então para por progressar individually, dus.
So, thank you for that, Gladiola. Deborah, if I may, but why is the model where leaders are made? Particularly na referee na isay como a motto de Toastmasters, where leaders, no matter onde mo busca, no matter qua Toastmaster, que sempre botawak isaki. Pakiko el lema.
Pa sobra, em verdade, attitude que você vai ganhar, tá com, first of all, self-confidence que você vai ganhar, vai poner que você vai ter leader attitude. Você vai sim, hobby coisa que bono a verwacht e que você vai apply them in daily life. Anto in daily life, maneira nos tursa, hobby caminda, bota caminda, bota escuta coisa, anto sempre bota para trás, anto bota diz, nunca tá react. Pero ora bota leader attitude, sempre bota proactive, bota vai, no, mi não também eens coisa, sei. No, mi vai hasi tal coisa, bota toma iniciativa, bota vira mais proactive, bota não tem medo de face anything, so bota self-confidence a crescer. And ora self-confidence crescer, a lot of things are going to open for you in a very positive way. Dus a mim te querer para esse, não tem meu líder e em verdade tem gente que tá usando também para public speaking, pero de verdade é te ajudava com esse também, pero a mim te começa a ficar chiquito. ang to ito ayuda for the chiquito cabo.
Oh, wow.
You know, and I was thinking, you know, all the characteristics, like almost 21st century skills, but, you know, leadership critical, good communicators. There's a whole list. I think we've discussed it many times, Sharice, in the program about these are really skills that our youngsters need to be ready for the 21st century. And by the sounds of it, Toastmasters, I know for sure, because I've seen it with colleagues. And I'll come back to you on that, Gladiola, but I'm curious as to Betty, because as we said, Betty has been out there, you know, in programs.
Yes.
And Betty, you have the function of Vice President of Public Relations. How, you know, has it helped you in this role, but also in your professional environment where you are an account manager, as I could say, at the Free Zone? We'll tap into that. How has it helped you, and what does it entail?
And I would like to add to that, when she answered, why the Toastmaster? Because you're very active in the community. You could have chosen any service club. Why in particular the Toastmasters? So how have it helped you, and why in particular the Toastmasters?
Okay, first, I would like to come back to your first question, Deborah, that people might get scared. They hear University of Aruba Toastmasters Club. It's because our club is really located in the University of Aruba. So it's not only people from university are members of the club. No, that has nothing to do with it. It's just our location is in the University of Aruba. Why did I join Toastmaster? As you guys know, I started abrupt with, I was a radio host with 5 other ladies on Massive. I was asked to host the program, and you know I love challenges. So I did it without no experience, no background at all. It was a big challenge for me, and I took it out with my 5 other lady friends. While doing this talk show, I realized that I would say certain things, but it's not what I think in my head. I have a lot of things going on in my head, and what I say is totally different than what I thought. So I said to myself, you know what happened? I want to do public speaking. And I went to one of their meetings, Toastmasters meeting, and I fell in love right away. I'm never going to be a public speaker because I'm terrible. Ask Yola. I'm the one of them who always have the most, because they also check you for those type for filler words and your grammarian. But Toastmasters has helped me so much in the 2 years that I've joined Toastmasters. It has helped me personally, my personal growth, and also professionally. I've learned to listen, because remember, in Toastmasters, it's not that you're a Toastmaster. During these educational meetings, everyone has a role. Everyone has a role, and from every role you learn. So, as I also said in my introduction, you can go to all the seminars, but seminars you just listen. But in Toastmasters, it's actions. So you learn during the education. So every member who joined the education meeting, either you have to give a speech, or you have the role as a grammarian, or you have the role as an accountant, or you have a role as an evaluator. So you learn. Every time you attend this meeting, you learn and you get better. So Toastmasters has helped me mostly to learn to listen. When I think back when I was younger and the kids, when, you know, especially as a single mom, you come for work, they talking. You hardly listen because you have so much things in your mind. And now, because you learn to evaluate someone's speech, you learn to listen. And then when you listen, you listen, and then you can understand, and then you can communicate much better. So those are one of the positive things I've learned from Toastmasters. I learned to listen more. It's better listen before I talk. You listen, and then you talk, then you communicate.
Oh, wow.
Thanks for sharing that. And one of the other things, like Deborah, if I may, you said you talked about the 21st century skills and everything, you know, as you're talking, you know, we did our homework. We looked at what the Toastmasters do globally and in Aruba. And you always hear them say, You need to learn to connect with your audience.
Yes.
Now, this is not a test or anything, but could you share a bit more with those speaking, because it's I know it's how you convey your message, who you want to, etc. Could you share that a bit with our audience listening in to with us?
You can sign up during the Toastmasters meetings. You can sign up for a speech, and you have to write your own speech. You follow. Look, Toastmasters is like as Yola said, is an educational platform. It's an online educational platform where you have to follow a path. Before you choose a path, they do assessment to see which path is the best for you. So like I'm doing now innovative planning, and so you have to follow that path. They'll tell you, okay, now it's time to do a speech, a PowerPoint presentation. If you don't know how to make a PowerPoint presentation, you will learn. You have to do your research and learn to make a PowerPoint presentation. They'll tell you to make a podcast. They'll tell you to do an interview. So during that path, every project you have to do, and a lot of speeches, standing in front of a crowd, a public, talking 5 to 7 minutes, because also Toastmasters also have like a time limit, like a speech, because we all know if you talk more than a half an hour, nobody's listening anymore. So within the 5 to 7 minutes, you have to bring over your message. So if you have a speech to do, it's time 5 to 7 minutes. You cannot go over the 7 minutes. Then it's disqualified. So getting back to your question, it is very important to learn to speak, know how to say it in a short time, and bring over your message clear. And that's what you learn in Toastmasters. Especially if you have problem communicating on your job, Toastmasters can help you, because sometimes you have so much to say, but you might say it in a half an hour and then you lose the attentions of your colleague, while Toastmasters teaches you to say what you have to say in a shorter time span, 5 to 7 minutes, and you communicate clear.
And I was actually having you that you said that. I would just want to go back to Gladiola, because Gladiola is smiling and she's like, I don't want to speak too much. But Gladiola, we did not get to touch you both your educational trajectory, which is quite close by. And I would just like for you to just tell us something about your educational trajectory, because I have a question then relating to what Betty just said. So where did you go to school? What's your educational background?
Okay, I have gone to MAVO. I'm from San Nicolas, so I went MAVO Filomena College. And when I finished, I went to MAO. That time, APE was MAO, MAO, and the secretarial education. And then I finished, and then I went to work because I wanted to work. And then 30 years have passed, and at the same place, I'm working at an insurance company since that time. So I didn't go to Holland to study abroad, but I remained here in Aruba. And afterwards, you follow courses and
lifelong learner.
So, having said that, you're a secretary at an insurance company. Yep. I would like to understand the relevance, how Toastmaster has changed your job, because I think for some people listening, they'll think, well, I'm sitting in a job and I'm not having that interaction. I don't give presentation. I won't be a leader. I won't be a manager. I'm just happy. But how has Toastmaster helped you and the relevance for what you do?
In the past, I used to I always have ideas, but the problem is sometimes you have an idea, but it's not being listened in the crowd. You're in a crowd, and we went to a course long time back. My old boss was there, and he taught me something very important. We had something to break something to come up with, and I had a great idea. I told the group or my idea, and he was listening, and he listened to what I had to say. All the others were all different ideas, and the most popular person, the attention will go to that person, and the bright idea, they won't. It doesn't matter if you have a bright idea. If you're not popular, they won't listen. And at the end, he said, Yola has brought a very good idea, but because nobody notices her idea has not been listened to.
Oh, wow.
And that's what touched me that time very much, because I said it's true. A lot of times, because you don't make yourself noticed, and hey, I spoke. When you speak, right now my boss can listen to this. If I have something to say, I will tell her, sorry, I did not finish speaking. Please listen first what I'm telling you, so then you can answer me. I won't be talking, and you talking when I am talking. So it even got me the power or the confidence to speak up. You have to speak up. And a lot of women nowadays, I won't get into those conversations, but a lot of women take a lot of things, and it's not only women, it can be also a man. You take a lot of things because, no, I'm afraid to speak up. No, you have to do it in a polite, it has to remain polite, not insulting anybody or bringing un problema DJ, but you have to bring forward your opinion if you really want it to be listened to. It's not, and so people will learn to respect you also, because when you say something, hey, I mean it. I mean it, and I'm not going back, or you're going to come with your word and cover mine. No, you don't have to accept it, and it is something very important, especially when you're a single mom. You have to do that. You have to demand respect. So, and
wow, Deborah, if you would allow me to give Gladiola a compliment. Did you see how when we started out this conversation and how it gradually changed as she talked about being confident? So you can definitely see that Toastmaster helped build confidence. And you said that in your bio, and you're very affirmative about that. So, I really appreciate that you're sharing, because you have seen and you were able to share with us, the path that you took and how you improved, and that you're willing to share it with us. Thank you so much, Deborah.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Let me twist it, bring it back to Betty. And again, Cherie's time is flying by.
Yes.
So this is really these leaders of the future. For you, Betty, because, Gladiola, she was dying to get into it. How has it affected? So, let me go back to your education trajectory.
Yes. I was just going to add
how you have gotten where you are. And then we'll go back also as well to how Toastmasters has helped you in your job as an account manager at the moment. But tell us about that. Where did you go to school here on Aruba or not?
Okay, I went to middle school. I went to I went to middle school on Aruba, and I did Colegio Arubano. And afterwards, I studied in Holland. I got my bachelor in social work. I'm really a social worker. But when I came back to Aruba, then I saw how it was emotionally, the social work, how it's not really understood by the government. I decided to change my whole trajectory, and I went in human resource. So I did a lot of courses and whatever, and on-the-job training. So then I started at Aruba. I worked there a year just to do something fun. And then I started Postal Services Aruba. And then I went directie personeel organisatie. And since then, I'm here at Free Zone Aruba NV. And it's almost like 11 years I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. After this, I'm going on pension. I always like working with people. It's something a passion I have. Although my job is like, um, you're writing a lot, you're checking business plan, you send out emails, but the challenge of my job is we deal a lot with clients, especially foreign clients, if they want to set up a business abroad or they want to set up a business in free zone. So we interact with the clients, and that is very challenging. So every day is something new. Every day. I mean, I have challenges with speaking Spanish. I have a colleague, when she hear a client come in and she speaks Spanish, she start laughing already. But I don't care. I say they'll understand. So with that, Toastmasters has also helped me. Again, listen. Just let somebody talk and just listen to what they say. And also communicate clearly, because that was something I'm still working at, that I think a lot, but how I bring it over, how I communicate is something totally different than what I think. And Toastmaster is helping me by writing my own speeches, by speaking in front of public. Now we're doing it online. It's teaching me to listen, think, and then talk. And talk a little slower. As for Yola, used to tell me, yeah, Betty, good, but just talk a little slower, because I was always high. Now I'm learning to talk a little slower and try to make sure that what I say that is understood clearly. And that helped me a lot. And also in my job, even with emails. When I write an email, before I used to write long emails, now I'm getting straight to the point. Kort en krachtig. And this has to do with Toastmasters. So it's not only personal, it also helps you professionally.
Thank you, Cherise.
I'm in awe. And, although you started out with the Toastmaster intention because you were helping as being one of the hosts at the Massive Radio Station. So shout out to Massive Radio Station. You wanted to improve. And, that is what we like about women and women in general. Sometimes we have a lot of challenges, but that you want to improve no matter what you're doing. This is just for fun you're doing, but still you try to improve as much as you can. And that's what it's all about, because when we're talking about being a lifelong learner, and the Center for Lifelong Learning is enabling growth, it doesn't mean it's only for your job, but also for your personal growth. So thank you so much for sharing that. And Deborah, I'm sorry, but it's almost time. It's almost time. So, ladies, before we end this wonderful conversation and informative conversation, and I give the word to Deborah, what would you like to tell the audience out there? Because I'm going to pull up that the Toastmaster Club meets, let me see if I understood you correctly, the second and fourth Thursday of each month. Is that correct? From 7 to 9?
Yes, the first is the first and the third Thursday, toch, Yola?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Okay, let me correct that. And while I'm picking up the banner, so the cell phone, where can you anybody who's interested and looking at this broadcast, is it 5663945, or do we have a new cell phone?
Okay, you can always contact our Vice President of Membership. Her name is Miss Lady Usuna. You can reach her at 738-0560. We will advise everyone, just attend one of the meetings. You know what happened? Because now it's virtual, you don't have to come all the way to university. You can just log in online, attend our meeting as a guest as many times as you want, till you say, okay, I want to join Toastmasters. And the sweetest thing about this, you don't only have to attend our meeting alone, Toastmasters. We have other Toastmasters club on the island. So you can attend other clubs, virtual, until you say, okay, this club is the best for me. Because our Toastmasters club, the language is spoken is English and Dutch. But if you like your Spanish and you want to be comfortable in a Spanish club, you attend a Spanish club, Toastmasters club on Aruba that speaks Spanish.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. Gladiola, before I leave the words to Deborah, what would you like to share with your audience as you are coming to the close of this next interesting straight-up conversation about education?
I wanted to, like Betty said, invite you all to come visit us as a guest, which you can come as many times as you want. And it is at night. It is at 7 o'clock after work. You come home at your home, so you don't have to leave home, and you're going to enjoy it. I'm sure that maybe it will sound boring. Maybe if I know I don't. A lot of people do that, but believe me, I think you will find something. I especially like to hear the speeches that we're having, because everybody has a speech, and you won't believe all the stories that you're going to hear and how fun it is. And it is a distraction. It is a nice distraction, and I'm sure anybody can make good use of it. So even you guys, I invite you to come and visit our club.
Great. In
Thank
the
you.
past, I
Thank you.
wasn't a member, but I attended many courses of the Toastmaster. That's
Okay.
before I went to the Netherlands to study, so I was active with the Toastmaster. But yes,
Great.
I will pick you up on that. And Deborah, would you be so kind as to close the program? I'm so sorry, it's the end of this wonderful
Oh,
conversation.
And I was just thinking that it is important that elections is around the corner, and many speeches will be given, many debates will be followed, and it will be quite interesting for people to really listen to what is being said and to focus, because they prepare as well. Someone writes their speeches or they write their speeches, so pay attention if you find they're a good public speaker, yes or no, and if they are the leader that you will want to represent you for tomorrow. Having said that, I want to thank each and every one of you for this interesting conversation. Charisse, I'll be seeing you next week again. Those
Yes.
are the as well, what's going on with these ladies, but sometimes innovative and creative. And for those listening in, each and every Wednesday between 3 and 4 with us, thank you very much. And we look forward to another straight up conversation about education here on
Thank you so much.
3.5
Thank you so
FM,
much.
sponsored by the University of Aruba. And don't forget to visit our website, www.uaaw, and our Facebook page. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Have a good afternoon.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Yo, you don't know. We going global with this thing. Boom, top class, university. What a global opportunity. Arubian University. Take part, come join me. Together for the local experience.